ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Shelter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
How's it going, good sir?
It's going, ladies and gentlemen. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the Play for Commerce himself, Zealeus.
Greetings and salutations, where I'm nice and zoomed in like the beautiful person I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Thursday Hangouts, our live show, where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, opinions that you would like to share with the class, do so by adding it into the chat, be it on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. First off, deepest apologies for not having a Thursday night hangout last week. It was not for lack of trying. It turns out that SSD drives can go bad, and mine shat the bed really, really bad. So I had to get a replacement. So my gaming desktop was down for 22 hours. I found out a lot about my computer. One thing is that the SSD drive that went bad did not want to come out of my motherboard, but I got it.
You finally forced that bad boy out?
It's a there's something wrong with the screw that's holding it in place.
Ah, yes.
Like, I think that there's something. Yes, there's like a spring. There's some sort of tension in there, but I think that something broke.
It's very possible.
And so what it would do is it would. You could feel this. You could see the screw was turning, but there was the tension wasn't decreasing.
It's like, nope, I'm just gonna be here and I'm gonna be good, and I hope you don't mind, sir.
Yes. So, so we unfortunately did not have a show last week. I did do streaming on Tuesday. Thanks to all the people who stopped by. I played some more Slay the Spire 2, which has basically become my go-to streaming game right now because I am bound and determined to actually slay the Spire. I've only done it once, and it was by total accident. The rest of the times, there's these stupid creatures in the third act or the third part of the tower that when they hit you, they decrease your max HP, and then also the final boss or bosses, because they always randomize the boss. Well, they don't always randomize, but there's a chance that they'll randomize the final boss, and they usually kick my ass. So
they give you all you can handle if your ass is cooked.
Oh, they give you more than I can handle. That's the problem.
Damn, man.
That's always the problem.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal.
Yes. So, anyways, we are back. Is the long and short of it.
I mean, I assume you have a working PC, unless it's secretly a show from like 2 weeks ago, and you've traveled through the TARDIS on your shirt to make it to where we are.
No, this is an actual working PC. Though, I in my crazy mind, I'm under the impression that my video card just basically melted the SSD because it's located. The SSD is right above the video card.
I mean, weird things have happened, I guess.
So what I've been doing is nightly. I've always been an individual who always just left their desktop going and would just let it go into sleep mode. Now I'm shutting down every single night. Decrease the exposure, as it were.
Probably not the worst thing. Yeah. I always put mine to sleep when I go to bed.
See, I've always had the last 2 desktops I've had. When my computer goes into sleep, it never wakes back up. It goes into a coma.
Well, that would annoy me.
Yes. Anyways, all right. Let's get into the show. The first thing is we have a lot of topics because we basically have 2 weeks of topics, so I'm going to try our best to cover as many of them as possible.
So what I'm hearing is I need to ramble on as much as possible so we don't actually get through the topics.
No. But yes. But no. We'll see. I don't know.
I'm so confused.
All
right. So hit us up with our first topic, good sir.
I am in the middle of a show, kiddo. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, bye.
I say, That's a person I know knows we have our show.
I know, I know, I know. Anyways, all right. Um, sorry, get my brain back into it. Um, see, we're already wasting time. My bad.
What
That's on
else
me.
is there to do but waste time? Isn't
All
that
right.
all we do by living?
Oh, I don't know. Anyways, the first topic that I want to bring up is a sad one to me, and that is
Mm,
Brian Jacques was one of my favorite authors when I was growing up. He's the author behind the Redwall series.
okay.
There's Redwall. There's Mossflower, Martin the hero, or no, sorry, Martin the warrior, Matsumo. Um, I mean, that's a ton of books in the series. Anyways, Netflix had the rights to his library to make a Redwall show. Well, that their I guess I guess their ability to do so has run out. They had promised it back in 2021, and they were going to. The film has been canceled, and I think that I think there's supposed to be a film and a show, and they've both been canceled. So I'm very sad because I would have really liked to have seen like an animated. I know that I think Redwall had like a very short-lived animated series like back in the late '90s, I think.
So would
Um,
this actually be an animated series or a live action?
from my understanding, it was going to be animated. Though, I mean,
I
the
say, because
definition
with
of what
live action, there
animated
would have been like
is.
a 70-30 chance that you would have hated it anyways.
Well, the thing is, for me, I haven't read Redwall in so long that like a lot of it's hazy, and it would actually probably depend on which story they chose, because I didn't actually read all of his books.
So
Um,
what I'm hearing is the secret to keeping Charlie happy is you actually make sure he hasn't read the source material in years so he can't be annoyed and not being faithful to the original media.
sure, let's go with that, Zealeus.
I will let the Netflix executives know.
No, so but the thing is, I mean, to be totally honest with you, I was excited when it was first announced, and I forgot about it. And then now hearing that it's been canceled, now I'm sad again. Um, but it was basically it was a series built around what's the word for it, where it's all animals. All the characters are animals, mice and
Okay.
badgers and
So Animal Farm?
no, not really Animal Farm, because they wear clothes, and it's basically like any of your you know like Dungeons and Dragonlance stories, but instead of like elves and dwarves and humans, they were mice and
Okay.
foxes and badgers.
Oh, what is that? Louis Puster's RPG? Pugmire.
That's not Louis Puster. That's you're thinking of Eddie.
Dang it. Getting my people mixed up.
Louis Puster III wrote Ukamog,
That's what I'm
and
thinking of.
Eddie Webb is in
There we go.
charge of Pugmire.
Dang it. One of those people you know.
Yes, one of the
But yeah,
actually.
Pugmire is what I'm thinking of in this case.
I don't know if I actually have the Pugmire books behind me. I
I
should.
think I have one in my room somewhere.
I've got them. I think the Pugmire books are over on the other shelf on the other side. Anyways, so yes, Redwall canceled. Sad day.
Grrr.
Now, for some information, some excitement, possibly, maybe, I don't know. There was an anime that Zealeus and I watched back in the day.
Back in the day.
It's an anime movie called Vampire Hunter D.
Oh, yes.
And then they came out with the second one, and now there is going to be another Vampire Hunter D. But
Okay. But
it's not going to be a movie. It's not going to be a show. It is going to be a book.
Oh, okay,
Um,
actually.
it is going to be the post-apocalyptic vampire-infested world of the Vampire Hunter in 2026, so this year.
Now, is this a manga or a textbook or like?
So they're labeling it as a comic. So I would assume I
Okay.
would lean more towards manga.
Yep. Okay.
Um,
Because I hear a book and I think like no pictures.
lots of words. No, no. It's going to
Too many
be.
words, man.
It is going to be a. Actually, it looks more like comic book because they have a couple panels.
Okay. I get it. Cool.
Yeah, but I love me some Vampire Hunter D, and the second one, which is Bloodlust.
Yep.
So I'm excited that Vampire Hunter D is coming back. I hope that maybe this comic will become another movie because I want to see
Vampires.
D at his best.
Yeah, it's vampires before Kate Beckinsale took them over.
Yeah, exactly. What was the name of that movie franchise again?
Undertale? No, Underworld?
Yes, Underworld. Undertale is a game.
Yes.
Zealeus is batting somewhere.
I'm gonna blame the wine tonight. Because I totally would be still not batting the same thing if I had no alcohol. Who knows?
So yeah. So another a new entry into the Vampire Hunter D universe, but not animated. It will be comic form.
Very good, very good.
Now, here's some fun news, or maybe not fun news, maybe depressing news, depends on how this goes. So it turns out that Nintendo has been dealing with lots and lots of leaks over the past couple of years. And so what they've done is they have been giving false information to employees, different employees, and seeing what information is getting leaked. And so they could figure out where the leaks are and they could plug those holes up. Now, what that means is a lot of the stuff that we potentially were getting excited about may not actually be happening. It might just been Nintendo trying to weed out the leakers. So there's a list of items that have been talked about as recently that we're going to now have to hold our breaths on. One of them, of course, is the announcement of a new Star Fox game for the Switch 2. Maybe that's not actually real.
That really needs to happen, though. Come on.
I know it does. It does. There was a rumor about a movie based on Luigi's Mansion, as well as a new Luigi's Mansion game.
Now, the movie sounds like something somebody would totally make up for this purpose of a spy movie.
Yes. Well, there's also the rumor of there being a Donkey Kong movie.
Again, that's what it reminds me. It's like a spy movie, but now it's just Nintendo doing the spy.
Yes. There has been the talks about a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Don't know if that is real or not.
Again, that would make sense, though. I mean, to actually have it, I think.
And that there is a new 3D Mario game in the mix was supposed to come out sometime next year.
Isn't there always a Mario game in the mix?
Well, where Mario is front and center, I feel like there hasn't been one for the Switch yet, or Switch 2 yet.
Okay.
You've had a huge Donkey Kong Bonanza game. You've got, I think there's a new Mario Party game out for the Switch 2, but that's party games.
You got a party after all.
Party!
In the free world.
Yeah. So let's hold off on or temper our excitement with Nintendo announcements because I don't know.
Well, I am sufficiently whelmed now
There you
about
go.
Nintendo.
Not underwhelmed, not overwhelmed, just whelmed. which is actually from a movie um, from like the early 90s, mid 90s, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
Can you be? I know you can be overwhelmed and you can be underwhelmed, but can you just be whelmed? I think
I
it
have
could be
no
in
idea.
Europe.
I actually don't know if that's right.
I, I, I want to say it is from 10 Things I Hate About You, starring Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger.
Now, that's been a hot minute since I've seen that.
Yes.
It's a good movie. Just been a hot minute. I do have a hard time when it's somebody like Heath Ledger, like watching movies with people who like died too young. I don't know.
Yes. Heath Ledger, River Phoenix, John Candy. To be honest with you, Chris Farley.
Yeah,
Um,
it just hit differently.
yes, they do. Speaking of hit differently, and also of John Candy,
Oh,
a movie that is very famous that John Candy played a huge role in. He was the character Barf
yep.
in a movie called Spaceballs. Well, we talked about this before, but there's some more information about the Spaceballs 2. First of all, it is not going to be Spaceballs, The Search for More Money. There's an official title out, and it's called Spaceballs: The New One, and it will
Okay.
be coming out April 23rd, 2027. And they basically brought back most of the surviving cast. Plus, I think they're going to have cameos for of like family members of the cast that have since passed. So the rumor is that John Candy's son will do a cameo as a Mog, which is half man, half dog. Their own best friend.
That's a cool way to do it.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
So it's kind of like Billy Madison too.
Billy Madison 2. No, you mean Happy Gilmore 2.
Okay. I'm still batting 0 today.
There it is.
So it's like Happy Gilmore 2, where there's just a bunch of random cameos from people.
Absolutely.
Which, I'm all for.
What the crazy thing is, they brought they were able to get Rick Moranis out of retirement, and he's been retired for a minute.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So. But yeah. Okay. Now, on to some frustrating news. For those out there who are huge fans of Super Mario Maker 2, it appears that a huge chunk of the archive of levels that were created by users has been removed by Nintendo. Like completely, kaputzi's gone. The reason I understand it, but I also think it's bullshit. There is a guideline that states that you're not allowed to use hashtags in your level name. But there is no good system in place to search for specific levels. So people have been sneaking hashtags in to help basically, index the levels and let people find them faster. But that's a no-no. And so 7 years worth of levels that potentially have a hashtag somewhere in the title are now gone.
So wait, you mean Nintendo has a shitty online system?
Yep. I know, or crazy, right?
They just couldn't just do like an RMRF hashtag and just solve the problem?
I mean, guess not.
You would think there's just a database somewhere and you just do a loop and you just like find text. You find a hashtag, delete text. Yep. Or hell, replace the hashtag with the dash for all anyone cares. But to just delete the levels, especially after 7 years? Like, I think that's what's like, to me, kind of fascinating about a policy like that is like, if it had been enforced from day one,
right?
It'd be like, okay, like Nintendo's still dumb, but whatever. But to then just 7 years later decide like, this has been around for 7 years. People have been using it, but F it. We're just going to enforce it today because we're Nintendo, and that's what we do with our online products is we make
Yeah,
them worse instead of
okay,
better.
right. But here's the kicker, and this is what's like pissed off and alienated a shit ton of people. Nintendo just did it. They didn't announce it, and they haven't said anything about it after they did it. They just mass
Yeah.
delete button. All right, now let's talk about fake agendas to see where the leaks are. I mean, that's really what they done.
Yeah. I mean, it's the yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they, yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's so where I was going to go with it was like they're seeing it somewhat in Europe with the same Video Games Act in the concept of digital data and ownership.
mm-hmm.
And that if there were actually any um, people in power who actually understood technology and gaming and all those kind of things,
Right,
then in theory there would actually be some kind of basically actual consumer protections around these kind of things. Not to say that Nintendo doesn't have the right to do it, but
right,
that there's like things like there must be X amount of warning to the consumer. Where if you're going to delete their content, or same thing with like if video games going to go offline because of servers. Like I'm not going to sit here and argue that servers should have to be online indefinitely,
yeah,
but there should absolutely be some kind of lead time where, as a developer or publisher, whatever, I took your money for that service. There should also be a give and take where there is an expectation of services rendered the other way around,
right,
especially in terms of not just longevity, but proper runway length of that notification. I think
yep,
more than anything else. Like if Nintendo had posted this and be like, okay, we're doing this 6 months from now, we're going to delete any level with the hashtag. Then it's like, okay, like still dumb, but can't really get cranky over it because they gave you a warning.
right.
Um, but that's if there's actually any kind of consumer watchdog organization doing anything useful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, next story. Here is some fun stuff. Remember, we had the story. Gosh, I don't know,
Well,
maybe
I'm
a
not
month.
remembering very well tonight, so
I
this could be
know, I know.
bad.
This is for the rest of the audience. Zealeus is just. We'll see if he actually has coherent thoughts. Um, there, um, there was a game, an MMO that was kickstarted called Ashes of Creation, and it
Oh,
basically
yes.
blew up in flames and all that stuff.
I too like OMs.
Huh?
I too like OMs.
Oh, okay, there we go. So it rose, raised $3.2 million, and of course, 52 days after it launched in early access, the team behind the game, the whole studio shut down, and there was a lot of questions. Well,
Yep.
there's a rumor that's coming out and about the CEO of this company called Intrepid Studios. Um, and the rumor is that the CEO was utilizing utilizing the money that was raised through this project on personal stuff, personal chefs, collectible card games. Notably, what's listed here is Magic the Gathering cards. Um,
That was also one of the rumors that they actually did the early access because nobody goes early access
yeah,
and then pulls it that quickly, knowing that they're going to pull it. Ethically, I should say.
right,
You're
right,
not going to ethically do that. And that was one of the rumors of why he did that was kind of in parallel with this was try to do early access, get that money, and then basically bank that early access money. um, which is related to this, where basically he's scamming everyone.
Now the CEO has basically come out and said there was no misappropriation of Kickstarter funds whatsoever,
Of
which I
course.
find very interesting that he just said Kickstarter funds. Because
Mm,
remember, this is early access, and it was $49.99 a pop, and they sold or reported 300,000 copies early access. So
yeah.
I'm gonna break out the calculator here real quick. So let's just say 50. Let's make it an even number.
Mm-hmm.
So that, my friends, is $15 million, give
Yep.
or take. Ones or one or two. Um, so that's $15 million plus the 3.2 million that they did on Kickstarter. So maybe he didn't touch the Kickstarter money, but there's uh, 5 times that amount through early access, and that early access was only there for 52 days.
I think Steam did something where basically, I know they have their normal 2 hour playing, you don't get a refund.
Yeah.
But I think for this, because extenuating circumstances, you could
Yep.
basically get a refund no matter what you asked for it. But it's kind of like almost like a gym membership or gift cards,
Yeah.
where there's always going to be that percentage of people where aren't going to use in this case the gem or gift card. It just sits there and the company makes the money. Or in this case, even if 5% of people don't ask for a refund, I mean, I think 95% is an extraordinary number of people who would ask for a refund. But
Right.
still, that's a lot of money regardless.
Yeah.
At 50 bucks a pop to just pocket basically.
Mm-hmm.
So from that, just scale of $50, that's going to be a nice windfall for this person. And the thing I hate most about it is like, as a MMO player over the years, is this was shaping up to actually be one hell of an MMO,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a genre that's very much had a dearth of actual kind of non Genshin style MMOs, basically.
Right.
And we're kind of going to be back to the old school style, and obviously we're not getting it. It's not going to be resurrected or anything at this point. That's kind of what kills these. You have all these developers, they lost their jobs. That obviously is terrible, but it's basically one person's greed and lack of ethics have led to this situation, which should, in theory, be like, again, go back to the whole consumer, protection thing. Like, there should be repercussions for that type of malfeasance.
Right. Right.
And there's not. Like, there's just not. We know that, but there should be.
Um, I know that this next story happened like a long time ago at this point, but I still want it's an off topic. It has nothing to do with video games, but I find it crazy. There was a huge candy heist at the end of last month. 413, almost
Like, and Candy Crush?
414,000. Huh?
Candy Crush.
No, not quite.
Oh,
Almost 414,000 Kit Kat candy bars were stolen. Um,
that's
it. I don't. I don't. I'm like, I can't believe someone did this. Um,
where do you
but
even
basically,
store that many Kit Kat bars?
it was so. The reason why is that there was a limited edition Formula One race car shaped Kit Kats.
Okay.
Um, there was a truck that was departing from a distribution hub near Turin, Italy, before being intercepted and stolen by people posing as law enforcement.
That's some real Fast and the Furious shit right there.
I know. So Nestle, the the owner of Kit Kats or whatever, they launched an official online stolen Kit Kat tracker where customers could input their 8-digit batch number
Okay.
on the chocolate bar to ensure that it was not part of this heist.
Nice.
Um, Now, of course, a lot of other companies jumped in to do their memes of the Kit Kat heist. I think KFC did something, but that's crazy. Hijacking a truck of 414,000 Kit Kat candy bars.
I wonder how many I could store in my house.
I just that's a shit ton. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so they were they were law enforcement. The thing is, it's okay. That's 12 tons of Kit Kats.
Even
12
to move that's
tons.
impressive.
Yeah.
See, like in the movies, if they steal that much money, they have like one of those like wind funnel turbines to like move it or something quickly because it's paper money. You can do that, but you do like that type of trick with Kit Kats, and they're gonna get like crushed. Which, if you want the race car Kit Kat, you want it to still be in pristine condition. I would assume.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Hmm. Now I
Oh,
want one of these Kit Kat bars.
here's one of the tongue in cheek jokes. This one's from Domino's. So we would like to share our thoughts and condolences with Kit Kat following their recent sad news. On a completely unrelated note, we're pleased to announce we'll now be selling a new Kit Kat pizza.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean, my goodness gracious. Anyways,
Kit Kat confusion.
yeah, that's just nuts.
I wonder if they have like a Kit Kat with nuts.
I don't. I think that's just a different type of candy bar.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore, and that, of course, is our friends of the show. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an independent organization. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself, and that, of course, is Noodleboy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodleboy Media, previously Wack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia.
And be excited. For the first time in 2 years, his Facebook page has been updated with news about ZenkiCon.
Well, apparently there was a fallout between him and another big convention. So it's good to see that he's updating stuff now. All right.
Wait, hold on. Convention drama. What?
Yeah. The next shout out we got to give is to an individual who, in the greater Atlanta area, can help get those aches and pains out of your shoulders and backs and basically your whole body through this beautiful thing called chiropractic. Yeah. He's go for the love of God. Anyways, Hero Chiropractic. It's a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of creative expression and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com.
And their website's broken, so you might want to let them know.
Okay, I will. The next shout out we're going to give is to the music maestro himself. That, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the original backer of Alter Confusion via Patreon. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. Whoops, there we go. By Day X leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile X, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, at this very moment in time, I know that you must be asking yourself, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, it's quite simple. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion survives and love and support fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, vampires, swamp creatures, mummies, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently, we have 2 tiers that you can pledge at. You got the $1 a month tier. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, which the current playthrough is, oh my gosh. I totally blinked out on the game. And I'm going to have to cheat because I can't. American Arcadia.
There you go.
I almost said Arcana, which would have been wrong.
Close enough.
And the other, and also at the $1 tier, you gain the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling extra frisky, you could bump that sucker up from a 1 to a 5, and that's $5 a month or $60 a year. What that gets you is your name or organization featured in every single Friends of the Show section of the Thursday Night Hangout, as well as everything that was given to you at the $1 tier. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/alteredconfusion today. And I think Zealeus's brain farts are starting to come over to my side because I'm now having trouble reading. Thanks a lot, Zealeus.
I try. It's contagious through the tubes.
Okay, real quick. Hopefully my cognition will allow this to happen, and I can continue to speak in complete sentences. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 15 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So, if you have the capacity to donate, go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion.
There you go.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in getting any sweet Alter Confusion swag or accessories, go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch, and you can buy yourself a nice hat, a beanie, coffee cup, vinyl sticker, notebook, socks. I feel like pet food bowl. So there's many items that you are going to want to check out.
Just so many useful things.
Indeed. All right, let's move back to the stories. The next one is something that Zealeus brought to my attention, and I think it's the most stupid, retarded thing in the world. Not what that Zealeus showed it to me.
Dad.
But apparently, Mass Effect TV show was ordered to rewrite scripts and make them more appealing to non-gamers. Here's a fun fact. The Mass Effect show was going to draw people in because there were going to be gamers,
Whoa,
fans
whoa, whoa,
of
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
I know.
whoa,
It's crazy.
whoa,
When you try
wow.
to when you try to just water down something and make it appealing to everybody, then you get a Dead Space 3, which was absolute crap.
I mean,
Or a oh boy. This is going to take Zealeus back. Lords of the Realm 3,
oh geez.
where as I used to say, I could take a shit in the box and it would have been a better game than what actually was in the box.
I was gonna say it's worked for TV shows like Halo
Yeah.
and A Wheel of Time. It worked out great for Wheel of Time.
Yep.
Worked out great for Sword of Truth for
How about
one
Fallout?
season. Uh, but Fallout kept to the games and it
That's true.
actually
That's true.
worked. Like
Well, I
Fallout's
mean, the thing
actually
is that there's not really. I mean, there is a storyline in Fallout, but is there really? I mean,
I mean, when I think of shows that cater towards a wider, and I mean this in a good way, by the way.
yeah,
When I think of shows that have diluted themselves to appeal to a wider audience, Fallout is not one that does that,
right.
which is a good thing. I mean, because it tried. You're right. There's not really that main storyline, but at least tried to still be very Fallouty. Is how I would look at it. Because the thing is, like, the Mass Effect, like one of the reasons people love the Mass Effect series is what? The story.
Yeah.
So it's like, really? You're gonna dilute? Because the problem is if you dilute the story from to try to get to a wider audience, you're gonna get Halo. That's
Yeah.
what it's gonna be. You're gonna have this weird, convoluted, and I know there's romances in Mass Effect,
Yes.
but you're gonna get this like weird, convoluted romance where it ends up Commander Shipper's actually falling in love with a computer construct of a Reaper. And that's how Commander Shipper is going to save the universe is by falling in love with the Reaper and making little Reaper babies. That's how they appeal to a wider audience, which would be obviously totally dumb and preposterous.
Yes.
But that's what Hollywood does.
Yep. Well, if you want to talk about dumb and preposterous and going away from the source material, then I'd like to point out the Transformer movies. Whereas the what was the Monster Hunter movie?
Oh, I've tried really hard. Tonight, I'm going to use my fog brain to use and say I don't remember anything that happened in that. Actually, I remember that actually being a Monster Hunter movie. I think you're making this.
Just like there's no such thing as a Dragon Ball movie.
I was good. The absolute dumbest thing ever about Monster Hunter movie is you're waiting for like epic Monster Hunter fights, right?
Yep. Because that's what
It's
the whole
literally
series is about.
The very last frame of Monster Hunter, and they're about to go badass fight. Cut the credits.
Yeah. Oh, there was a game.
So much.
There was a game on the 360, I think. I don't know if I still have access to the reviews from all the way back then, but there was a game, I think it's called Infamous. Or no, maybe it's not Infamous.
Infamous is people, I never played it, but when I see like games that should be remade, Infamous is always on that list.
Maybe it was, I don't remember, but there was a game that like, there was a great, it was a great like backstory build up, and then you're like, oh, here's the twist. Now the real game starts, and it's like credits. I'm like, wait, what? What?
Interesting. Yeah, so like, I want a Mass Effect TV series because it's one of the greatest video game series of all times.
Yes.
But it's because of the very interesting story and backstory. Yeah. I'm no longer optimistic about it, which makes me sad.
Yes.
Granted, I'm not really terribly optimistic about many new TV shows that come out because, We see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
So, uh, the next story has to deal with a game platform or service that's been under that's I feel like every other month has been under fire because of their ability for like children grooming and
Mm.
pedophiles and all that stuff running rampant on it. What I'm talking about is Roblox.
Yeah.
Well, here's a new story about Roblox. This one is that Roblox is actually creating a tiered system
Okay.
to protect their gamers. So what they're going to do is they're going to have Roblox. They're basically going to have like an age not really. Oh my gosh, how to describe this? So there are going to be age ranges, and those are going to go with the tiers. So you have the Roblox Kids accounts. That's ages 5 to 8. They have access to a very limited number of games with minimal or mild content maturity label.
Okay.
All communications are disabled.
Okay.
Then you have the Roblox Select accounts, which is ages 9 through 15. You have access. Your access will grow, but still be limited to with games with content maturity labels. The default communication settings will remain unchanged. And then, of course, then you have the regular Roblox, which is 16 and up. You have access to all of the content. The chat is fully available. But the one, I think, if you have kids out there, here's the parental controls. For the Roblox Kids, you have full suite of parental controls, including new approved experience controls, which I think you have to approve what games the kids are playing.
Yeah.
Then the parental controls for the Roblox Select, full suite of parental controls through age 12. So 9 to 12, you still have that full access of approving what your kid can and cannot play. But once the kid is 13, the parents only have certain controls that can basically mess with the kid's account for between 13 and 15. Of course, there are no parental controls for 16 and up.
I mean, as someone who's never played Roblox and doesn't really, I've never played with their online, obviously, game in terms of interacting.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of goes back to the original concept of, the liability of the company versus parents parenting their kids playing games. I mean, it's the age-old question of, when does that where does that responsibility lie? I think we're mostly in agreement that it lays with the parents,
yes.
But I also get that the video games also obviously should have controls. Which my understanding is Roblox had parental controls before, anyways. I guess just now it's kind of more granularized and tuned in than before.
This, by the way, these new controls or this new way of doing Roblox is actually going to start in early June of this year.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I guess they're doing something because, I mean, I know they've had a lot of issues over the years. It's still, I guess, a very popular game, too. It's my understanding.
Well, it's because they have so much copyright infringing games on there. It's not even funny. I mean, they're the creators of these things have stolen sound clips from restricted IPs. They can't really do character models because it's Roblox. They're all block characters, but you could kind of, they've got some aspects to their skins so that you're playing with Goku or the Flash or Superman or this Transformer.
I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time getting worked up over that type of copyright infringement. Like, doesn't really faze me in the least. I
Well, the
mean,
thing is, it's such. There's so many copycats out there. You close one, there's one that's almost the exact same thing, almost has all the same assets. It's just it's like when you post a picture on the internet, it's there
yeah,
forever. It's the same thing. Once a game has come out on Roblox, there's about 10, at least 10 copycats that are like, well, I changed this small little thing so it's unique and original, but not really. Kind of like a new Madden every single year. They tell you it's a new game, but it's not.
yeah. Uh, That very much for me and the how much do I care scale is pretty much zero
Yeah.
as far as things that are wrong with the world.
Um, okay. So I've got we've done pretty good. We went through most of the topics. I've removed two of them that were just older topics, and I don't think we really need to go over. But this last one I want to talk about.
All right.
The creator of a very popular game called Papers, Please. His name is Lucas Pope. He came out and basically says he does not feel comfortable about talking about any of his work in progress games. And the reason is that he fears, and rightfully so, that if he were to discuss a game that he's in the process of making, you're probably going to talk about mechanics and themes and what type of game you're in the process of making. And with everybody running to AI to be like, make this, he's afraid that you're going to have a lot of people who are going to utilize AI and of course other and human beings to basically make the game before it actually comes out. And this is actually not a new concept. I mean, it is a new concept for, well, it's not really a new concept for video games. People have been doing it for a long, long time. But with AI, it's basically fast-tracked it. This type of mentality was huge. I don't know if it's as huge as today as it was maybe 5-6 years ago. There was a guy who literally watched Shark Tank on repeat, and any idea for like a small a simple item, the fidget cube, or those weird it's like an air hammock where it's basically just like a huge uh it's not a garbage bag, but you basically just swoosh, grab all the air, and then you seal it, and then ta-da, now you have a seat. What this guy was doing was he was watching all this the Shark Tank stuff, and then figuring out if he could like basically make the concept quick enough, and then he would send it over to China to have it mass produced, and then brought back, and then he would basically flood the market with inferior products. But
It's
everybody
100%.
would already have that stuff before the person who was trying to finance their brilliant idea could actually make it.
Yeah, it might not be this one particular person doing it, but
Yeah,
I think China themselves just watches them now. Like they
that's
just
true.
cut the middleman. And yes, all these that was the first thing that came out in mind when you were talking about the story was that specific case where yes, anything that's basically presented on Shark Tank, etc.
Yeah,
You can go on Alibaba.com and find it.
yeah.
It'll be yes. I they are all there. You might wait 2 months for it, but eventually, by gosh, you'll get that product.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a thing for sure.
Well, I mean,
So yeah,
the guy that was doing this, what he would do is he would sell the product until the actual product went to market, and then he would just discontinue sales. So he's already got all the money that he wants to, and since he's no longer selling the product that the true product that's now available, then there's no cease and desist. There's no you can't really file a lawsuit because he's been selling this, but now that the official one is he's no longer selling it, so there's no overlap.
but yeah, and like kind of thinking of then the original story is, I would say it's even more relevant than ever because now with tools like Claude Code and Codex and all the others,
Yep.
like you can go into, type in, I want a game with mechanic XYZ. Guess what it's going to do? It's going to make you an executable game with mechanic XYZ.
Yep.
So, no, I totally understand why but it's also tricky, though, because I totally understand that, but at some point you have to be able to market the fact you have a game upcoming.
Right.
Like to gauge interest and other things. So there's that balance of what do you actually then be like, oh, I am making a game. Some people are interested in it, maybe buy it to get your, coffers a little bit full so you have money to actually make the game. But yeah, I could, especially as like a smaller, if you're a solo shop and you're making your game, I know this is a vast oversimplification, but then it also reasons that another single developer with the use of AI could create a very similar game with a single person of resources.
Yep. Yep.
Using the expediency of AI coding agents.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, I get behind what this gentleman is talking about, and I totally get it. Yeah.
I mean, we're already in a society and landscape where the game has to be a hit right out of the gate, or there's a very short chance that it's actually going to survive, especially if there's any online components to it. So
yeah,
if
I don't
you're not
remember
able
the name
to
of
drum up anything,
Yeah.
that's gonna suck.
I don't remember the name of the games because they're not ones I play, but I've seen like over the last couple of weeks, there's been games I've sold like 1 million copies, and the studio is being shut down because it didn't actually meet expectations.
Yeah.
And it's like that didn't meet expectations. So yeah, it's a brutal market.
Yeah.
And yeah, the expectations, especially because like AAA games, the cost to make AAA games are becoming more and more extraordinary all the time.
Yes.
I mean, I guess when you're also what GTA 6 and you take 16 years to make it,
That too.
doesn't help.
Anyways.
There you go. So maybe that's what we should do in our free time. We should make an AI Chrysalis of Prion RPG.
I'd have to find all the paperwork.
I got mine in my other room. I can, feed it all into Chat GPT tonight and see what it comes up with.
I don't know which version you have.
Oh, I have a very old version. That I can tell you.
Yes, I think you have the pre-full sale version.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I have the full sale version.
Ooh.
But then again, I was running games in the full sale version.
So you actually have valuable feedback to have improved the game's mechanics.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Chris Prime was a pencil and paper, a homebrewed pencil and paper RPG that Zealeus and myself and some others created when we got really tired of trying to figure out what THACO was with AD&D. That's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, 2nd edition. We made our own system. So, anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our show. So, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything on our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.